President-elect Trump is scheduled to be sentenced in his hush money criminal case later this morning in New York City. It comes after the Supreme Court rejected his request to stop the proceeding in a decision released late last night. Let's bring in MSNBC Justice and Legal Affairs analyst Anthony Coley. He was the top spokesperson at the Department of Justice under Attorney General Merrick Garland. Anthony, first, just your reaction to what the Supreme Court decided and the fact that it was the three liberals joined by Amy Coney Barrett and the Chief Justice. What are you reading into it?
Well, I tell you, I think this is a rare moment of independence from the Supreme Court, and it was the right thing to do based on the facts and the law. And the facts here are pretty straightforward, right? You have Donald Trump, who in 2016, as a private citizen, tried to corruptly influence the outcome of that presidential election by keeping quiet or having Stormy Daniels keep quiet about her relationship with Donald Trump and then lying about it in his business records. Like, that's what this is about, personal conduct that began as a private citizen. And so that's one part of it. In terms of the law, that's pretty straightforward, too. I mean, this is a one-page order here, Allie.
And I love when you bring props.
Oh, yeah, I have a prop here. And the operative phrase here is the court says that Trump's issues can be addressed, quote, in the normal course. And what this really says here is that Donald Trump, you jumped the gun. You have not exhausted your rights, your appellate rights at the state level. And so this is not right for us to review. That also means that this case could very well make its way back to the Supreme Court again. And I really believe here that Donald Trump, he's previewed what his arguments will be, right? That in the Supreme Court's ruling this summer, they found that official acts, he has broad immunity from them. And the testimony in some of this state level case included testimony from White House officials. It included him signing checks in the Oval Office. And so his argument is going to be that it included information that they should not have included. Bottom line here for people just tuning in, Allie, is that as of the end of the hearing this morning, Donald Trump will be the first American president to be a convicted felon at the end of this hearing.
It's a stunning moment in history, one that we knew we were going towards. But then he also says it all comes down to the appeal. He said last night, I understand what the court's decision was, but we're going to make an appeal here. So what does that process look like? And are those arguments going to be central to it?
Yeah, they absolutely are going to be central to it. I suspect what he's going to do is first appeal this entire effort to the entire appellate division within the New York state system. That's going to take several months. So I think that's what's going to happen now. But ultimately, I want to say one additional thing here. You mentioned the two swing votes, so to speak, Chief Justice Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett, a Trump appointee. What's so interesting about this duo is they read the same opinion polls as you and I do. And so I really think what they try to do here is restore faith in the U.S. Supreme Court. And I mean, it's a pretty fair reading of the law. You know, we'll see. It's going to take a little while for this to get back up to the Supreme Court again.
So then what do you expect to see at 9:30? Is this going to be a short process, cut and dry, or are we in for a length of time?
We know that Donald Trump is going to appear virtually, right? Judge Juan Merchan has given him that option. We also know that at the end of this process, Judge Juan Merchan is going to publicly release audio of this sentencing. So I suspect what we're going to see later this morning is some stern words from Judge Juan Merchan about how Donald Trump has tried to undermine the jury system at every step. You'll remember that he was held in criminal contempt of court 10 times for violating this narrowly tailored gag orders. So that's what I expect we're going to see when this all gets underway later this morning.
And then there's another piece to this, too. There's, of course, the legal drama that is continuously playing out in New York. And then there's what's happening here in D.C. because a federal appeals court ruled yesterday say that the DOJ can release Jack Smith's report regarding Trump's alleged role in overturning the 2020 election results January 6th. They will not be, at this point, releasing his report around the classified documents that were found at Mar-a-Lago. But what does that tell you, that we're going to ultimately end up seeing what one piece of Jack Smith's work has been?
Listen, this is another frivolous effort by Donald Trump. But I also have, I worked at the Justice Department. So I also think that this is a problem of this Justice Department's own making. And what do I mean by that? They did not have to preview this report with opposing counsel. They did it because it's an institutional norm. But what we have seen from conservatives and Republicans in recent months is that they don't care about institutional norms so much. And so Democrats have got to learn how to play by the rules, yes, but also how to play hardball. So this report will eventually see the light of day. There's no legal justification to keep it under wraps. And that's the last thing that Donald Trump wants. And I know, I'm not sure how much time we have, but I will say,
2 seconds.
I will say this quickly. Jack Smith and his predecessors typically testify before Congress at the end of these reports.
Yeah.
I don't know that congressional Republicans will want Jack Smith to testify
I would
publicly.
venture a guess. No,
Right.
it will not be an invitation.
Right.
But that's actually a fair point that you make there. Anthony Coley, thank you for joining us.